Let's look at how to work through the drawing for the site boundary at the end of your lesson or tutorial 1, your introduction. So within the introduction, around page 34, it talks about changing your units. So you're going to have to do that. So we're just going to start our drawing with just a regular ACAD template. So it's in inches already. It's not metric. That's why it just says ACAD. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off my grid and my snap. So I've gone to the bottom of my status bar. And if you do not have these pull down menus turned on at the top like I do, you're going to want to hit this drop down arrow and yours will say show menu bar. Once you do that, you'll have these options. So your units can be changed by typing in DDUNITS, as you see here at my dynamic cursor. Or you can locate your units from the Format pull-down menu, same way you can locate your limits. So I'm going to go to Units. The difference in the units for inch drawing, this has feet, so to get your boundary edges, you're going to have to know the feet and the inches. So you're going to have that separation. It can't just be decimal. So we're going to go down to the length and we're going to change it to architectural. Now, as far as the precision, it's probably not going to make a difference, and it really doesn't talk a whole lot about that precision for architectural as it does for decimal place in your chapter on pages 34 and 35. Now, as far as the decimal degrees and angle type, this drawing is simply angles. So there's no degrees, minutes, seconds, or surveyor's units. So all you have to worry about is the decimal degrees. Once you've set that, just click on OK. And then I'm going to flip here. It talks about the limits. So if you didn't catch that piece in the unit lesson, I'm going to type in the word. So you can always type in limits, or again, under that format, pull down is drawing limits. Your limits is giving you a boundary. Your space here is unlimited. So you can draw as large of items as you need. So what we want to do here is set our limits. The lower corner pretty much always needs to be over here at 0, 0. So I'm just going to type in 0, 0. And then what I'm trying to identify is where would this upper corner be? Most your limits should be set to whatever your paper size is. But when you start dealing in architectural units, big units, like this drawing is, let me flip a few pages till I get there, is 141 feet plus another 128. So you could say this thing is probably a 300 by 300. Well, I don't know that I have a paper size that is exactly 300 by 300. I've never seen a piece of paper that was actually square. So the limits are probably a little different, and that's something that you'll learn as you progress through this course or even into an architectural course later. So I'm just going to put in that I want 300, and I'm going to put in the foot symbol, which is basically like an apostrophe, and you will notice if you're able to see where I'm circling at the bottom on my command lines, you will see the separation feet and inches now. So what I'm wanting to try to do here is put in the units that will match that. So we're going to put in 300 in the feet, comma, 300 feet. And that'll at least give me some space. Now, very important, if I start drawing right now, I'm going to show you what's going to happen. And I'm going to start my line at 0, 0, just because that's kind of where you've been starting everything. This first line, with my ortho turned on, says that it measures 141 feet 2 inches. And before I even typed that, you noticed that I was only probably at like maybe 15 inches or something. So what's going to happen? My line's going to shoot way off my screen. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to hit enter, and that's what you're seeing. So my line, you can't tell where it is. So I'm going to hit escape, and it's very important now that I'm going to do a zoom all. Now you can see my line. So it went from 0, 0 to 141 feet. So the zoom all, if you do that right after you do your limits, you won't have the problem where you can't see your line off of your screen. So now we're going to work on using angles. So I'm going to go back in. I'm going to start my line from the end of this one. So I've got an object snap on. I'm going to pick. My ortho needs to be turned off because this is at an angle. The angle, you would need to calculate on some of these because they're giving you interior angles. And in AutoCAD, if I'm working off of 0 for all of my angles every time and 0 is always to the right, then I really need the angle from 0 up, not from this angle back. So you learn a little bit about complementary and supplementary angles. This is a place where you would use it. If I know that my line is straight, that's 180 degrees. And from this side, if I come back around 141 degrees, then I would just subtract 180 minus 141. And my angle is actually 39 degrees. So here's where I would put in whatever my distance is, 128 feet, 1. And you'll notice I don't have to use the inch mark and I don't have to put the dash. As long as I've got my numbers separated by the feet, we're fine. And then less than sign, now it's asking me for an angle, and I can put in that 39 degrees. Now, the next one's a little more difficult because I'm already starting at an angle, and I'm going back from that angle 99 degrees. So here's where you really have to look at how do I figure that out. So I'm going to add a few things to show you how to calculate these a little bit later, but for right now, what we're looking at is if this is still 0, well, I'm going to draw it this way for now. This is still angle 0, and we have angles that are opposite are equal. So if I went 39 degrees, then from this line to this line is also 39 degrees. Well, if that's the case, and the angle is 99 degrees interior, then I have a 60-degree angle off of 0 this way. So I would need to go 60 degrees. Well, off of 0, what is it? So 0 again is always to the right. So I have 180 minus 60, which is 120 degrees. So the next line in your drawing actually goes 161 feet, 3 inches, and the less than to drop and change it to an angle, 120 degrees. And you will repeat that again for the next one. So now I am an opposite angle. So my opposite angle now is this angle from here up, which is 60. And it's given to me from here around. So this can work in opposites. So what I would do is I would take, I've got 180. I know I am 60 degrees off of 180. So I'm going to add the interior angle of 89. And I get 149. So I'm going to start dragging my cursor, and you'll see the angle is increasing, and I can increase it to 149. And you're probably asking yourself, why does she not go with the angle that's showing on the dynamic? I don't, because you never know. Since you are moving this cursor, you could bump that cursor before you ever finish typing the letters. So I use my polar coordinate entry method, and I make sure it's exactly the angle I need it to be, because you could be slightly off because we're not using grids or snaps. It's all at the estimate of your cursor. So this distance was 116 feet, 7 inches, and in less than, this time instead of having a positive, I'm going a negative 149. So it went from 0, a negative angle. Again, AutoCAD works in positives, works clockwise or counterclockwise. So that's how you're trying to figure this out. So if you're moving something in a clockwise manner, you end up having to put the negative sign because the angles work in counterclockwise. Now from here to the bottom, it tells you the interior angle is 142, but just in case you haven't learned this so far, anytime you mess up, there's an undo option. So if that angle was wrong, I could undo and start again, put in the right angle. So just in case you went the wrong direction, you didn't get the negative sign in front of the angle, you can type that in. There's also an option that says close. If you have continually gone in a loop, you could actually hit the close button, it would go back to this point. Or you can use your object snap and snap back on this point. Or you could actually calculate what is the polar angle to that point. So hopefully that will help you with the site boundary. The dimensions, if you're adding the dimensions, they may not appear very well. So if I go in and add a dimension from here to here, I can't use linear because they're not straight line. So you would have to use angular. Whoops, not angular. Aligned, I'm sorry. Aligned, pick the points, and then drag it out. But what happens is you can't even read it. That's because dimensions need particular settings. So when we went from small inches, those drawings you could read the dimensions. But then we went to something that was in feet. So our numbers are all still down here in these little inches. So imagine that text height is 1/8 of an inch. And if you get your ruler out and you stand in a room and you say, okay, here's 1/8 of an inch. So there's my little 1/8 of an inch. And then compared to the background behind me, which is probably an area of 10 feet, would you be able to read that? No. So we have to adjust those things. So for this drawing, I would just say, don't worry about adding those dimensions. I would come over here to my measure, and I'm sorry I put my screen in front of it, but you have a measuring tool over here. I'm gonna have to type it in, where you can actually go from point to point, and it will tell you, there it is. The line was 116 feet, 7 inches. The angle is 211. Well, that minus 360 should have given me whatever that angle is. So you can get various information about your drawing that way. So that's your exercise 1.3, the site boundary.